Well, I wonder if President-elect of the United States, Donald Trump, will ever be considered as a mentor for people in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, because Caribbean Mentors, it's aimed at inspiring Caribbean people towards achieving their professional goals. Their podcast can be seen on their website. It's www.caribbeanmentors.com. Episode 53 is coming up on Monday, featuring Mala Dukaran, who's a group economist at RBC, and the founder of the program and the host of Caribbean Mentors, Joel Millington, is here with us. Joel, good to have you on the program. As you were telling me, this has started since July of last year, so it's been well in train. Tell us a bit, for those like myself who are kind of out of touch with all that's happening on the net, what exactly is the program itself about?
Okay, great, and good morning to everyone. So that's a good question, because I got that quite a few times. What is a podcast, right? Yeah. Especially when you try to reach out to individuals to come on the program and you say, could you come on my podcast? They say, okay, what is a podcast? Is that?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So we are all familiar with blogging, which is a written article, but a podcast is an audio format of a blog, essentially. So it's an audio blog that covers a particular series, and as you said in your introduction there, our podcast is featuring business leaders, entrepreneurs, people who have attained a particular amount of success, and we ask them to come on the program and just recap their career journey. Tell us how you went about building your career. And we believe that we could inspire, that's our tagline, by the way, to inspire generations, because if you recap your journey, it may be similar to somebody who is going through a particular stage in their career, and something you may say may trigger, okay, this is how you dealt with this, so this may be a principle that I could implement also. So we are about collecting the wisdom and experiences from the generation going before us, so that our generation, well, my generation and the generation coming before, could tap into those experiences and get wisdom and principles we could implement while we build our career also.
Is there a subscription fee for accessing the podcast?
No, it's absolutely free. If you are subscribing, if you go on the website and you click the subscribe button, all you see is you have to leave your email. We have a host of different options where you could subscribe, but it's totally free. We also post all the episodes on our Facebook page. So if you go to Facebook and you just type in Caribbean Mentors, you will be diverted to our page, and you will actually see all the episodes there also.
And what caused you to come about with this idea, to create this opportunity?
Right. Well, I don't want to get too much because we don't have much time, but basically everyone wants to be successful. It doesn't matter how we define success for our individual selves, right? But what it is we find is I may have an idea of what it is I want to achieve. Where people struggle, along with myself, when I struggled also, is what is the vehicle that's going to take me there, the how. And you interact, you see people in society, like take you for example, you are excellent sports writer, you comment, you do cricket, you get to interview prime ministers and rough them up a little bit. So somebody may be looking and saying, wow, look at what Faziri is doing. I would like to do that also, but they don't have any idea how to start. How do I learn all the cricketing terms and stuff like that? If they could hear you talk about your story in your own words, and you give some of the tips that you, and some of the pitfalls you may have had, then this person now have a kind of blueprint that they could follow and say, you know what, Fazir is excellent at his craft. For me to be excellent also, I need to implement these principles.
Terrible with the American accent, by the way. I got real licks for imitating American accent yesterday. But what are we going to do? The CIA will come for me just now. But what has been the response so far since you started the podcast?
Right. We have, actually, we are in season 2. Season 1 was my way of just feeling it out to see if people will respond, if this is something that is needed. And we have been getting a lot of great positive feedback. We even got an email from a Trini in Ethiopia, and she said this is her way where she connects back to home to hear our stories, because it is important for us to hear ourselves. Yes, we exalt all the foreign entrepreneurs and foreign business leaders.
That's true. I could just interject that, because we often have all of these, whether it's TED Talks or whatever it is, all of these great minds from all over the world.
Yes.
And sometimes people might say, well, we have people here who maybe can relate to our specific experiences. Has that been some of the positive elements of this project?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked that question, because just to continue the point, it is important that we hear ourselves. You know, we talk about all the great minds we have in our region and our country, but I went online and I started listening to podcasts, and I only hearing foreign people, and I'm only hearing people in other countries, and that was my trigger, because when I read business publications here, when I hear about someone gets a promotion to a company, I study, wow, look at what this person is able to achieve. But what they were young, they went to some of the same schools you went to. So if I am building my career here, I would like to hear from individuals who have built their career here also.
And are the interviewees forthcoming with the information? Because maybe some people, they don't want to let you know their trade secrets, they don't want to let you know their routes to success for whatever reason, I don't know. But are they willing to be open and frank in their discussions?
Yes, good question, because that brings up another point also. Yes, they are extremely open, right? Also, that is the problem that we are trying to solve. So we have found that a lot of mentors, quote unquote, they want to give of their time, they want to tell their stories, but they are busy, they don't have the time. So if I would like to interview a particular person, or let's say there are several individuals who will want to talk to you, for instance, you can't talk to everybody and give every piece of advice to every single person. You may be able to do it to 2 people, 5 people, but think 10, 20, 1,000 people. So what it is we ask individuals to do on the website, if you subscribe, I tell you who I'm going to interview. And you could now leave me email questions, or even record your question and say, hi Faziri, this is my question for you. And during our discussion, while you recap your career, I ask you to answer these questions to these individuals so they could get real-life feedback in a scalable way. So it's on demand anytime you want to listen to it, and we encourage people to do it as a secondary activity, because it's an audio file. So if you're going for your morning walk, put it on the MP3 player, listen to something inspiring, positive, and local. And
before we could conclude, Joel, just as you talk about that, is there a set length for the podcast? Is it what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour? How does it
work? Right. Well, that kind of depends on the mentor, because some people are more expressive than other individuals. What we try to do is we try to hit the half an hour to 45-minute mark. Right, because we know... You
have to study attention span as well,
exactly.
So if it is dragging on, you know, people might lose interest.
Right, so what it is we tend to do, we try to, when we're doing the editing process, we try to capture the very salient points, right? And we also communicate that with the mentor. They appreciate not having to sit down somewhere for an hour or 2 hours just talking and length at end. So that is where we try to go, 35 minutes, 45 minutes tops.
All right, well, Joel, thanks very much for joining us this morning. Let's hope all goes well with the project. Don't forget, episode number 53 is going to be available from Monday.
Every Monday we publish a new episode.
Any particular time that's available?
4 a.m. in the morning, the episode is available.
4 o'clock in the morning, so you better be up early. So like overnight with the U.S. election, help you to stay awake. So from 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday, you'll be able to hear the podcast with the interviewee, Mala Dukaran, the group economist at RBC. And if you want to go on and get more information, the website is www.caribbeanmentors.com, and you can get all the information. It's free, and you can just subscribe by giving your email. That's just about it for Morning Edition on this Wednesday, a day in which there's going to be a lot of reaction for days to come, for weeks and months to come, on the result of the U.S. presidential election and all of the fallout from that and the comments from that. And as I say, who knows? You might hear Donald Trump as a Caribbean mentor sometime soon. That will be a challenge. That will be something for Joel to work on. Thanks a lot for joining us once again. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning, God willing, from just about 6 o'clock.